I can see you guys very well, so let's move that heads up sign. Oh no, that's the. Are you guys going to run into that if I take it down? Okay.
Taylor, you got it?
Taylor goes under it. Yeah.
She might hang herself with that cord. We could wrap that cord.
Oh, here, let me turn my
That was YouTube.
Volume down, please.
volume off. Phones off.
Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to our Hot Stove Society kitchens.
Good morning.
We're going to have a good show today. Hopefully, there's a lot of you watching because there's not many people here watching except this one lovely couple over here. What are your names? Chris. Angelica and Chris. Way to go.
Thanks for coming. I know they get a Lola breakfast.
Oh, really? We're not having the crepe? I was going to talk about the crepe today.
We still can.
Yeah, I still will.
Or we could get egg sandwiches.
Did they make their choice yet? Do we have that going?
We haven't done that yet.
Okay.
Sean's in charge.
Okay.
I would have the eggs Benedict personally, but I personally can only eat a half, and I'm a big dude. It's really
And that's
rich.
what we had.
The other
yeah.
thing that I would have down there is the shashuka, but I like it instead of with eggs in the braise. I like sausage in the braise. So those are my two suggestions this morning.
And a lot of people.
If we're going to Lola,
Yes, yes. A lot of people share. They'll get one
Or
of the
the,
granola and one of the thing. But you guys do?
the cured salmon plate too. Is the
Oh.
Gravlax plate.
Ooh.
Okay. You know, our restrooms are down this way. 6134 is the number.
And the code's right on the side.
Welcome to the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo Radio. We're here live in the studios in downtown Seattle, 4th and Virginia, in the beautiful Hotel Andra. Happy to be here. Bridget is my co-host today.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
Super awesome.
Nice.
It feels like you haven't been in for a week.
I've been here, just not on the radio.
Becky is in the producer chair today, and Cam is on our technical side. So if anything goes wrong, it's their fault.
Absolutely not.
100%. We have so much going on our show today. It's quite a lineup. You've done a good job once again, Becky.
Thank you. I got fired last week.
I know. You're going to, if you ever want to come join us, like these nice folks, they're getting their choice of a Lola breakfast this morning. But when we have a larger group, we cook it in-house here. And that is my taste of the week. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Just saying.
Oh, nice.
And the Chef Bridget made it. So, you know.
Wow.
You're
Flattery.
flattering me.
Holy
No,
smokers.
just kidding. Upcoming classes here at the Hot Stove, Dim Sum Brunch with Chef Rashida on Saturday, April the 12th. French pastry series, Blitz Puff Pastry with our very own Bridget Charters.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Blitz Puff Pastry?
It's
Is that like
just
a quickie?
Yeah, it's a cheater kind of fancy pie dough where you're trying to replicate puff pastry, but you're missing quite a few of those hard steps for puff pastry.
You know, I like that Dufour brand of puff pastry in the grocery store, and I am making pigs in a blanket for 600 people here in the next week.
Really?
And,
Wow.
So I bought the commercial puff pastry. It's all butter though, which is nice. You know what's so surprising? They also have a pie dough.
Oh,
in
they're
the
on
freezer
those
case. You know, they have the puff paste, all butter, pie dough, palm oil. Now tell me about it. Go figure that.
And that's
I had
Dufour
it in
as
my
well?
cart and I thought, well, I should probably check the ingredients. Yeah, Dufour, same brand,
Interesting.
100% palm oil, no butter at all in their pie dough.
Did you
frozen pie.
email them? And
No, I didn't email.
okay, you should
They
do
know what
that.
they're doing. They know to put butter in the puff pastry. They do it.
I know.
Why wouldn't they put butter
It's
in
so
their pie dough?
delicious.
And also, you can check all of our classes here at the hotstovesociety.com. Seattle Restaurant Week is hot and heavy from March 30th to April 12th. Participating restaurants from our group of joints is Lola, Neb, Half Shell, Palace Kitchen, and Sirius Pie.
Now, do you have the restaurants do special menus just for Restaurant Week, or
I kind of go back and forth on that because to me, Restaurant Week is a promotional week, right? You're trying to get people into your restaurant. You're giving them a good deal. You're making delicious food. Maybe you give them an extra 1 or 2 free courses so that you can hit the price point. And so, do I want them to come in and eat something that we never make, like make a special dish that's never on the menu, or do I want them to come in and check us out and try us out? This is the Palace Kitchen. This is Neb. and be who we are. So I
Got
go
it.
back and forth a little bit on that.
Uh-huh.
And so I prefer that if we just showcase things that we already do for people who have never been to our restaurant before.
Perfect.
nice.
Sounds good.
And did you
Yeah.
hear that Palace Kitchen made the list on Eater Seattle's standout menu for Restaurant Week?
Oh, no, I didn't hear
it's
that.
brand
That's
new news
awesome.
as of yesterday.
Way to go, PK.
Woohoo.
You can check out all the menus around town at srweek.org. On today's show, you have exposed yourself.
Well, we'll find out.
Okay.
I've
It
got some
seems
things.
to me we're getting a sneak peek
You're
into
making
your
her blush.
pantry.
You're
Yeah.
I
making her
didn't mean
blush.
to. We're getting a sneak peek into your pantry.
Yes, of things that I just don't know what to do with. And they're
How did they end up there?
well, you get excited about something. You go, oh, I'm going to try this new ingredient, and then it just
Just sits
doesn't-
in the pantry.
it sits in there. Yeah. So I'm hoping
All
you
right.
guys can help me out.
I
Okay.
think we can.
That's
Sarah,
fun.
Sarah On is back this week. Where we've been talking about her new book, Oma, UMMA. It means mother in Korean, and we love the book. So we did a
Yeah.
4-part series. This week's part is going to be all about kimchi.
Yes.
And my favorite thing at a Korean restaurant, personally, is the kimchi pancake. And it's like a
Kimchi. Is it like a
it's like a-
okonomiyaki?
yeah, it's
Oh.
kind of like that, although it's not quite as floury. There's some egg in there, I believe. And it's just a delicious pan
Lots-
fried,
Mhm.
browned. In
Sounds
Vietnamese
good.
restaurants, you get those coconut pancakes with egg,
Yeah,
Or
those
flour.
are delicious.
and those you wrap in green leaf with some fresh herbs. It's not the case in Korean restaurants.
Interesting.
So that's my favorite kimchi dish. Andrew Rubenstein is here from Hey Bagel over in the U Village
University
Shopping
District.
Center,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's a new bagel spot in town. He had some bagel spots in town, and he sold it off, and he's now coming
Yeah.
back with a new one called Hey Bagel.
Yes.
Season 2 of the Nosh with Rachel Bell. She's a wild thing. Are we expecting her today?
Yeah, she's coming. And Andrew wasn't very happy because he's worried that she's going to steal his thunder. But
Well, she is quite good
she's
on the radio.
awesome. And the two of them are quite close. He was the first
You mean like quite close?
good friends. He was
Okay.
on her show.
I thought
her
maybe he had
first-
seen her pantry.
Oh, I don't know. You can ask them later.
No, I'm not going to ask him. That was a little joke.
Okay.
Okay, on the pantry joke.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh my! Everyone got a little red on that one. Hot Stove Society tasting panel tackles cream cheese just in time for Andrew's segment on bagels.
Yep.
Oh,
Now
interesting.
he and I, we're having this chat.
Really?
Because he's a non-toaster of
Mhm.
bagels, and I am 100% toaster.
You got a toast.
I'm 100% toaster. He's a non-toaster.
Really?
So we're gonna have a little chat.
Mhm.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And I like a nicely toasted sesame bagel
And just
with a smear. Well, it's still hot.
Yeah.
A smear of cream cheese, so it kind of half melts into the.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. So Andrew, come on in. Andrea Bupp and Keith Johnson are here to talk about their how do you say it? Solo Esto Mezcal. I've been tasting mezcals lately because I've been looking for a new well mezcal
Uh-huh.
and you know what I mean by a well?
No.
In a restaurant, you have things that are in your well,
Your
like
base.
a line of base,
It's
You've
not
got a
the
pretty
well
good-
drink.
and then you have your call liquors, which are up on the shelf,
The
right?
Okay.
fancy ones.
Right, which are fancy, and people have their favorite.
But your
call.
wells are pretty darn fancy.
Not particularly, but they're
not
we wouldn't
bad.
Put them if we didn't like them.
It's not like pop off vodka. Or,
When you tell me that you can taste the difference between a well Cosmo and a
Right.
Grey Goose Cosmo, when you're mixing it with other
Mhm.
things or Greyhound or whatever that is, it's hard for me to believe.
Right. Well, are you up for tasting this morning? Because I'm sure they're going to bring some.
100%.
Take a
I love
nap
mezcal more
afterward.
than tequila.
Oh, you like
I
Really?
like that
You
cookie
love-
smoked
yeah.
flavor.
you
yeah.
love smoke,
Mhm.
right?
And of course, we're going to wrap up our show today with food for thought, tasty trivia.
Let's go, Tom.
Let's go. So, Bridget, my taste of the week. Last week, we had our first new breakfast in probably a couple years. We have been serving the Spanish breakfast with tortilla, chorizo, and ruby chard, and a blueberry muffin. Last week on the show, we started a brand new version of our breakfast. And I was a little bit skeptical. Not that you were cooking it, but I was skeptical
Just
that
the whole thing.
it was going to be enough food. And yeah. So anyway, we did it.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and I thought I would like the blueberry muffins more than the madeleines, and the madeleines came out perfect. You made a brown butter madeleine,
Yeah, Annie's
And
recipe.
I love that because they're cooked right before service, so they taste fresh and delicious.
Literally 15. They went in 15 minutes before the show started.
You know, some restaurants have madeleines as desserts, and it says right there 15-minute wait because they're baking them to order. I think John Sundstrom does that up at Lark.
Oh, does he?
Mhm. And has since the beginning. The crepe was filled with
Ham, a French jambon française, which
Okay.
you can get at your deli.
yeah.
And then we use the Beecher's cheddar
Okay.
as per your request rather than
And
Gruyere.
there were some greens in there.
Well, we had the chard because of our old
Perfect.
menu, right? And so Sean
love that.
Fine minced everything, and then we sauteed it with a bit of garlic and seasoning.
So then you had your crepe all made. You wrapped it over to a half moon, and then you made a little butter sauce with mushrooms in it to put on top after you baked it.
yeah, a little Vin Blanc
Vin Blanc.
in honor of Thierry.
Chef Thierry, the chef
Yeah.
in the chapeau. And today I'm changing it, for tomorrow or for next week, I'm changing it just a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to do the sauteed mushrooms like you did without the white wine butter. I'm going to add some cream to the mushrooms.
Oh, much
and I'm
easier.
going to use some of my mushroom rub in
Oh,
the cream
brilliant.
so that we have a little mushroom kind of
so it's
slash
nice and
Depth.
mushroomy.
got
Yeah.
porcini
Okay.
butter. And then
Yeah.
I'm going to add a fried egg. I thought it needed just a little bit more.
Okay, so Sean and I were talking on the fried egg. Do you like the French fried egg where it's
No.
no color and
No.
it's perfect?
And Terry didn't like that either, by the
He
way.
didn't?
No. We had this discussion
I
a
taught
few
my
times.
students that, like that egg had to be
Yeah.
perfect
Well, that
and the white
explains
had
why
to
the
be
city
set.
has such bad eggs.
No, it is so not true. But yeah, I agree with
what
you
you're
about
talking about is taking a saute pan on low heat, putting the egg in, and just letting it kind of cook without crispening the edges or browning. it up.
correct.
Yeah, gross. So I like where you put it in the pan, a little bacon fat, a little butter, get the butter brown, hit it the hot pan with the egg, and it just frizzles up the sides. It doesn't overcook the yolk, just frizzles up the sides. And I like a cooked white. I don't like those watery
No,
whites.
I agree. Ugh.
Yuck. So anyway, that's what
We
our
agree
breakfast is.
on the doneness, but you want a little crisp
I want a
around
little
the
crispy
edges.
edge, that
Copy
lacy
that.
edge, like a latke, that lacy edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
your turn.
Okay, my taste of the week, because we're coming into spring, though I can't say last week we had some crazy storms and stuff. Out offshore off of Aberdeen, we get our fishermen that are out getting those smaller fish. So our quote unquote petrale sole, our Pacific
Rockfish.
the rockfish, the Pacific sole. And so sole, oh my God, I got 6 fillets. It was $7.99. It was $9.99 a pound. And I cooked it, I had some herbs and I tucked that inside with some of the veggie rub, rolled it up, and then I just had some fish stock in the fridge. And I put it in a pan, warmed up the fish stock, put those little rolls of fish in
So you
there.
poached it essentially, yeah.
It took less than 5 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I had a little rice steamed. So good.
Yeah.
That's sole, and I put a little butter on top. Man,
You're
it was
talking
good.
petrale sole, not gray sole. Because petrale sole is a little bigger and firmer, and I like it so much better than the gray sole.
Either one is delicious. Either one is fabulous. The petrale sole, you get a bit more to your meal with those gray sole, which they call the Dover sole, right?
No.
They're not
sole is
Dover
from
sole.
Dover.
But the fish stores in town call it Dover. That finer.
Not that I've seen, and they're lying if they do. Dover sole is a particular fish.
Correct.
Yeah. There's little gray sole off the coast, and
The
it's
little thin
very
guys.
mushy. Very mushy.
Right.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Either one. I do like the mushy gray sole too. I just asked him to get the bigger fillets, but it was really good. It was really easy to cook.
All right. Sounds tasty.
Love
Sort
sole.
of. Up next, Pantry Wildcards. We're exposing Becky's Pantry
I love
on
that.
this very show, Hot Stove Society, on Cairo 97.3 FM.
Now I got to change my ingredients.
Okay. Oh,
Do you know what that is?
I just saw the one.
Yes. Oh yeah. And
You know, she brings it in a Seattle caviar bag, just like, just
they're,
saying.
they're just so perfect.
Just saying.
I have 2 of these, and I use them
Yeah.
they're just perfect. I'm fancy.
You are fancy.
My pantry's pretty organized too, but I'm
You're
not
like
going to say that on the air.
Reba McEntire.
Oh, in what way?
Fancy. Well, she wrote that song about Fancy was
Oh,
her name.
I-
Yeah.
I missed that one.
She was forced into situations that she was help her family pay the bills.
Oh, I get it.
Am I wrong, Angelica? Yeah, I'm right. Yeah. Woo!
Trying to look at the expirations. Oh, that's brand new. And this is
$13 you paid for that? That little jar?
must have. Yeah, I think I bought that on
What
Amazon.
was it?
It's yuzu juice.
The juice
And I
in the
used my
bottle.
translator to see that it is 100% yuzu juice, and the brand is yuzu soup.
Okay. Save it for the radio,
Yeah.
pal.
Okay.
This will be yours. Well, I mean, I can. Oh, is there more in there?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
I've got a bunch of
Oh,
things.
yeah.
We'll just see.
If you had read your
See
show
how-
sheet, you would know exactly what's in there.
No, I said might include.
All right, we're back here in the kitchen on Cairo. I'm Tom Douglas,
And I am Chef Bridget Charters.
one of the instructors here at the Hot Stove. I've been here for almost 11 years now.
I know, isn't that
Shocking.
Can you? Yeah, I know.
As much as we fight, it's shocking.
Hmm It's so fun and beautiful. I love it
So,
here.
Becky, you raided your pantry and you were thinking about, why do I have these ingredients here? And could you even remember when or why you bought them? Like, you just showed me a $13 bottle of yuzu juice.
Mhm.
Do you remember when you put it in the
I do.
pantry and why you bought it?
I remember all these items
Okay.
and what inspired me.
Okay. So
Wait a
I want to
minute.
hear that too on this story.
Okay,
Yeah.
so-
you said $13.
For that little jar of yuzu.
Oh
yeah.
my
Probably
God.
6 ounces, 4 or 5 ounces.
I would almost say that
Wow.
had to come from Chef Shop, but with the Sharpie price tag
Oh,
on
that was
the
me
top.
that did it.
Oh, you did
I
it.
did it just to. I like to remember
Oh,
things.
that's right, because you're a little.
You mean
We
like
tend
you
to
do
that
that
way.
when you get home?
Sometimes when
That's
Whoa.
impressive.
Whoa.
I've always said I wish I had done that with all the wine that I've bought, so I
No.
knew what I paid for it 20
yeah.
years ago,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of it's.
Oh.
I do that too.
Yeah, I bet you
I know
do.
with the silver
You
metallic one on the
You
bottom.
have a retentiveness about you.
Let's just call it organized.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the first thing, I've got a bunch of ingredients I'd love your help with. And I will just start with the first one is yuzu. I've got yuzu juice I bought once, and then the other day, and I know it's expired because I bought it probably 5 years ago, and it was a recipe that was a Mark Hyman something. It was I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was using yuzu, and you only need a little bit, so I bought the smallest amount I could, and that's
Uh-huh.
this. So what? And then the other day I bought.
No. Let's start on
Okay.
the yuzu.
Well,
you have a
this is-
thought for
this
her?
is still yuzu as well.
I would get it into a vinaigrette. I'd make a vinaigrette.
Well, first of all, it's a citrus, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Japanese citrus, and Wajimaya in the kind of January, February months will have fresh yuzu
Mm.
on the shelf there.
Uh-huh.
But it's tough, to grow and tough to get a hold of. So you got the bottle, right?
That's why it's $13 for that little bottle.
Hmm
5
So-
years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd make I mean, you said it's 5 years old, but maybe make a marinade and freeze it.
I would make a curd, a yuzu curd.
And
Oh, that's a good
what's
idea.
that?
A curd, like a lemon curd or an orange curd that you know how you make lemon bars?
Yep.
Just make yuzu bars.
Okay.
And you'll
Perfect. So-
yuzu it all up.
Use it as lemon juice.
Exactly.
Okay, so-
and come on, that's a dad joke right there. Anyway, so it would be fun to have and try, and you'll really get the flavor of the
Okay.
yuzu rather than in a vinaigrette. Well, it'll still be great in a vinaigrette.
Sure.
I'm not saying that, but vinaigrette will also have maybe mustard or anchovy or whatever it is in your vinaigrette. So if I was making a vinaigrette, I'd keep it super simple so that the yuzu
Correct.
shows up. Yeah.
Ginger, more Asian style.
Okay.
Right.
So I can go sweet or savory.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
Next
use
one.
it up. Excellent. Next one we have tamarind paste.
Tamarind
And I don't know what to
paste.
do with that
At all. And why did you buy it?
because I wanted to learn what to do with tamarind. And I thought if it was in my pantry, I would do it.
Uh-huh.
And this was probably a year ago.
Yeah. Glory Bee is a local distribution company of sweet things like that.
Uh-huh.
We buy a lot of brown sugar for our rubs from them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it just says organic tamarind. So what does it taste
So
like?
tamarind comes in a pod with
Mhm.
seeds, right? And it is almost always dried. And you can use it for pretty much anything that you can use molasses for.
So
or
it's sweet. Okay.
But it's tart.
Sweet sour.
Okay.
It's
like
tart.
pomegranate molasses. You've
Okay.
had that from
Yeah.
Turkey or someplace like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it works in very much the same way. You'll see it. We should have Chef Annie come over because it's much more of a traditional Southeast Asian
Right.
ingredient. We
But
see a
they
lot-
use it in Mexico too, and
Oh,
she could
Mexico
take a
and
blob of
candy.
that. She could take a blob of that and put it in a blender with some water and a splash of OJ and just whip it up.
Yeah, you see tamarind sodas in Mexico. You see tamarind candy.
What about a splash of yuzu?
With the tamarind, delicious.
Annie, welcome. You're over there making breakfast. You have a Southeast Asian background: Vietnam, Laos, Cambodian,
Yeah.
little Chinese.
Yeah.
How do you use tamarind? Because we know the Mexican side is where we see it as candy generally, but
We use a lot in sauces. This is one dish that I absolutely love. It's like deep fried Dungeness crab, and you make tamarind sauce with it.
Uh-huh.
So after you
Mm.
deep fry it, and then you kind of diluted the tamarind paste with a little bit of water and a little bit of sugar and fish sauce
Uh-huh.
and chili in there, and then you throw it into the wok with hot oil and then with the crab, and it soaks up that sauce. So you got this, succulent crab,
Mm.
sweet, salty, sour.
I'm glad I invited you to the to the chair. That sounds so good.
I know it's like you don't see that in a restaurant, but my mom used to make that, and it's one of the things that I miss from time to time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So there's
That's
some
awesome.
tamarind, and when you get the crabs, let us know, and we'll be over.
Okay, sounds perfect.
I'll
That's
show you how to
awesome.
deep fry a
Andy,
crab. You
you might-
whack it live,
Okay.
toss it in cornstarch, deep fry it, and then have your wok all hot and ready for it.
I think I need to bring.
It's like a two-time.
so I think I need to bring the
cooking.
crab over to your house, and because you've got
That's
that
fine.
cool wok.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
I had that cool wok.
Had Gonzo.
Yeah.
Oh, because the dog used to get
The
it.
dog's tail
sucked on.
kept turning it on.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
100,000 BTUs. You all of a sudden you hear a jet engine in the kitchen. You know exactly what happened.
Uh-huh.
Oh man.
Okay, this one is interesting. I just got this in Japan. They're Hokkaido dried scallops. And we were just after the 5:30 a.m. fish market thing. We went out to Tsujuki, I think, the outer market, and scallops are all over from Hokkaido because the waters are just super fresh and they're
Uh-huh.
well known. And so I grabbed them and I opened them up and shared them with my friends.
Uh-huh.
And then the guy
And you
said,
ate them like candy?
"Well, you put them in your, they're dried."
Yeah.
And I thought, "What's the harm?"
Are they dried hard or
Yeah,
are
they're
they
dried
dried
hard.
firm? Like
hard?
smoked
Okay,
salmon.
so then you don't want to eat them like candy.
Well, no, and my friends weren't happy with me, so we all kind of chewed it, and two of us were too stubborn and just, oh, it's just like jerky, it's fine, you
Uh-huh.
guys. And then it all kind of
Yeah.
it was bad.
Yeah.
So then the other day I pulled this out, and my husband saw them on the counter, and he's like, "Can you please put those away? They're bringing back memories." But I know we can use these if we rehydrate them like a mushroom or something.
Uh-huh.
But how would you use dried scallops?
I would grate them was the first thing
Oh,
I
wow.
thought. I would put them on pasta like Baltimore's pasta, the uni pasta over at Neb, if he still has that there. But these have a wonderful saltiness to them. That's amazing. Yeah, they look like a candy pastel or something you suck on, like a honey candy.
Yeah, but
or
they're
something.
But they're not. They're,
They're not.
fishy.
They're very fishy, but if you grate it, like on a microplane over a pasta or over a noodle dish,
Cam, will you grab us a microplane? We'll see if that works. The way I've seen it in the past is we hydrate it a bit and then smash them with a cleaver,
Uh-huh.
and you make scallop floss out of it.
Oh,
And I don't know if you've seen those.
Wait a
like
minute,
pork
what'd you say?
floss,
floss.
floss. You know, pork floss that you see in Vietnamese restaurants sometimes. Annie would know about it. But you make scallop floss and you use it as a garnish, or you pan fry it, wok sear it,
interesting.
and make it crispy.
That sounds
Like
fun.
Oh.
fried crispy
That's fun.
ginger, but it's crispy scallop.
And I was thinking more of using it in a soup. That's why I originally, no, I thought we'd eat them raw, but then I was thinking a soup.
Well, they would make a fine soup base,
Uh-huh.
as far as giving like dashi
Right.
does.
Or what about those soup custards that the Japanese make, and it could go in, get hydrated.
Shamushi.
Yeah, those are so good.
So, Bridget, the first
Am I
part,
wrong?
my first second of it grounded beautifully, and then the whole scallop breaks apart.
Yeah.
So it doesn't quite
Not
work.
practical,
It's
and
not
they're
practical.
expensive, right?
Too
Yeah.
strange. Oh, very expensive. Yeah, that's why I was so honored to share. it
Sometimes
with
the Chinese
everyone.
call it millionaire's fried rice when they make a dried scallop fried rice.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Really?
So we only have a little
Oh,
over,
Because they're expensive.
but this one, I just thinking of Terry. I got organic Tunisian traditional harissa, and I know Terry always used it.
He loved harissa
All
because
the
he loved
time.
Morocco.
Same here.
Yeah. So what would I do with this harissa?
The harissa, again, that could go into a dressing or a marinade instead of red pepper flakes. And then the other thing you could do is I love harissa in the morning. I'll hard boil my eggs, which you can have, and I
Okay.
put a spoonful in, and I dip my hard boiled egg in that harissa almost
Or
every
you can
morning.
pan fry eggs with a harissa paste and tomato
Yes.
paste mix.
Okay, so it's kind of a tomato
You can
paste,
use it like
Oh
sriracha.
no, you can use it like anything. I love rose harissa the best.
Okay.
There's a kind
That's
that has
so
rose
good.
hips in it, and
Mm.
it's just really a beautiful,
Brightens it up.
fragrant. Yeah, and harissa generally has preserved lemon and cumin in it already.
Mhm.
So when you add rose hips to it, it just changes it a little bit and it becomes this lovely little condiment or ingredient.
Yeah, you could drizzle it on a salad, drizzle it on a fish dish.
Well,
Yum.
Becky, it was lovely exploring your pantry.
Thank you for your help, and I'll report back.
Okay.
What didn't we get to?
You'll see next time.
Oh, you'll see next time. I
That's
love that.
great. Can I bring some of my stuff in?
All right, author Sarah On is going to join us in the next segment. It's segment number 2
Yes.
from her book Oma, 100 Recipes from a Korean Mom's Kitchen. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Awesome.
Started out fine. There's nothing that you should throw it away. Put it in your pack. You see, the dried seafood stands in Hong Kong stores are just everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of squid. Yeah. Let's go. Yep. This is on tape, so you'll have to watch the screen. And watch Becky move around
All right,
a lot.
We're continuing
apparently.
our series on Oma, a Korean mom's kitchen wisdom and 100 family recipes with Sarah On, Namsoon On's daughter. Last week we talked a little bit about mom and what was important in capturing the family's recipes and how life changes the dinner table, whether it's war or whether it's TikTok, whatever it is, how it changes what you are doing. And Sarah, you and your mom are going to be at the Book Larder signing books on April the 14th at 6 p.m. So make sure you get out and say hi to them. It's a fabulous book. And we're going to continue our series in the next couple of weeks. This week, let's talk about kimchi, the living art of fermentation. Sarah, you have quite the literal chapter on this idea of fermentation. It has taken over the world, fermenting everything in kochi or kimchi or whatever it happens to be. But it is a living art. And tell us how it plays out on the Korean dinner table.
Yeah, so kimchi is a big part, it's a staple of our cuisine, our identity, and pride. And it's one of the few dishes where I distinctly remember my mom making it, and the few dishes that I remember as a kid seeing my mom make it. Kimchi is the most popular one that you're most familiar with is the napa cabbage one. It's the cut kimchi. Typically it's served cut, which is what you have on the dinner table that you're probably most common with. But there's also uncut kimchi. And the uncut kimchi is the traditional kimchi that Koreans grew up with, the ones that our ancestors ate and preserved. And it was a way for them to get through the harsh winter months when food was scarce and when they needed something to nourish them. And in our book, we include both kinds because it's like, how do you choose between the two? Most cookbooks just have one napa cabbage kimchi recipe, but we found it very important to honor both recipes, uncut and cut, just because it's a huge part of our identity and history.
Mm-hmm. And last week you told us about a kimchi stew that says home to you. Can you tell us all about that dish?
Yeah, so once you make the kimchi, it's fresh and raw and crisp and juicy. The kimchi will begin to ferment a bit outside for maybe up to 24 hours, and then you move it into the refrigerator where it ferments into this tangy, umami, flavorful, historical dish that tastes so different from when it was first made. And when it gets to that stage where the kimchi is very fermented, you make amazing dishes like kimchi stew, kimchi pancakes, and dishes where it calls for fermented kimchi, where it offers this complex, rich taste that you can't get when you first make kimchi. And that's how we make the kimchi stew, which is a stew that, you know, uses kimchi and spam and other ingredients to make such a fulfilling, homey dish that brings you back to home.
Uh-huh. Kimchi, I mean, people think of it as something that takes a long time, that smells up the house, that, you know, it had a bad rep, and now it's like the hottest thing going in America. How did it turn the corner?
I think it was the rise of Korean trends in media known as Hallyu. That's when, you know, we had the globalization of Korean culture coming into Western media. And it was then only that Korean foods became a bit more noticed. I mean, this includes with the rise of the band BTS, movies like Parasite winning the Oscars for the best film, and things like that, where diversity was a bit more celebrated.
Well, I know, because as a young chef, I always thought about Asia, right?
As one Asia?
You can actually, if I look through my career, watch, you know, Vietnam make an entrance and India make an entrance, certainly Thai and Japanese got separated from Chinese in different parts of China. And now Korean is really the hottest cuisine going. Many of our Korean chefs have gone off to open Korean restaurants.
Yeah, it's great to see this diversify what we see, and hopefully other cultures can be seen soon too.
So when I go to my local Asian grocery, Uwajimaya, say, for example, which is one of our oldest and biggest Asian groceries, you can see kimchi of lotus root, kimchi of green garlic, kimchi of cucumber. Now, where and when do you use these different types of kimchi? Is it just a seasonal thing, like, well, cucumbers are in season right now, so we're going to make kimchi out of that? Or is there a proper etiquette when it comes to cucumber kimchi goes with seafood only, or, you know, something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's no proper etiquette, but just kind of where your taste buds lead you. So Napa cabbage kimchi, which is the one that we're most familiar with, we tend to eat that in the wintertime when Napa cabbage tastes amazing. Same with radish. There's a dish called gakdugi, which is radish kimchi. Korean radish tastes absolutely amazing during winter, where it's super crisp. Right when you chop into it, you hear this crisp that you can only hear in winter. That's when you make that kimchi. But in the summertime, Napa cabbage and Korean radish does not taste good at all. And we don't,
right?
Yeah, we don't like it at all. And when we see people who, you know, aren't really familiar with Korean food make this in the summer, we're just like, that's not something we eat really in the summer. I mean, certainly it's always on the dinner table and it's commonly served, but typically in the summer, we'll kind of gear towards young Napa cabbage, which is a different variety that's only in season during the summer, along with like fruits like cucumber, where you want that refreshing kimchi when it's hot and you want to take advantage of that. And Napa cabbage at that time in summer, it's not tasty at all.
When you say Korean radish, are you talking daikon style radish or a different?
Korean radish. It's similar to daikon, but it's its own thing.
Okay. I don't think I know that.
Mm-hmm.
When I get kimchi at a Korean restaurant, I tend to eat it as a condiment, and then I don't say have a piece of fish in front of me and then I, on my fork or chopsticks, I don't have, you know, take a little bit of kimchi and a little bit of the fish and make one bite out of it. Is that correct, or is that more traditionally where you kind of combine the taste?
It's a dish that you combine the taste. It's not something that we put in a bowl and eat it as a snack, just that, which is something I often see on social media too with people who are unfamiliar with the cuisine. It's way too salty to eat on its own, and we don't encourage that. It's something that you have to enjoy with something else, typically rice, to balance that saltiness.
So typically rice. So it's not like you're building a bite out of steak and kimchi and you know, who knows what, a mushroom.
Minimally rice, or your go-to should be rice. But yes, you could combine it with everything. Like we'll eat Korean barbecue with different side dishes that contain vegetables and top it with the kimchi and rice.
I also think of kimchi as taking forever to ferment, and it really isn't the case. You could eat it tomorrow, or you could let it ferment for 6 months.
Exactly. You enjoy it as it ferments from raw to very fermented.
And what's your favorite and why?
Ooh, my favorite would have to be the water kimchi known as tongchimi. That kimchi does not use spices. It's in a water brine, and it is one of the most fascinating kimchis you can taste. And it's the most popular kimchi in Korea, second to Napa cabbage kimchi.
So is it what they call here in the grocery white kimchi?
Yes, white kimchi.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, that's not white kimchi. This one is winter water radish kimchi. It's a bit different. It's in a complete water brine, and it's in the brine you drink too.
So no chili flake, no nothing in there.
No chili flakes, no spices, and I eat it with soup too because it's so good.
How do you do that?
There's a red bean soup that we have in our cookbook. It's called patjuk. It's a sweet soup. Some people consider it a dessert. And my mom was like, "Oh yeah, people in Korea and back then, Dad and I used to eat this with kimchi." And I'm like, that is such an odd pair. And then I tried them, and it just made sense. And it's like Koreans get that, and that's something. If you look in our book for that red bean soup recipe, the porridge recipe, we put tongchimi kimchi right next to it.
Isn't that crazy? I would never have thought a soup and kimchi together. I have to try that. It's fun to make kimchi. I've made it a few times. I'm making my own miso right now. I'm 8 months into that. Can't wait for my 1 year mark. It isn't necessary though, right? There's good kimchi in the marketplace, and if you were to say knock off some ideas about which one you would buy, is local important? Is it? What off the store shelf would you look for?
Yeah, so we do break this down in the cookbook where we have like different tiers of where you should check out. First, if you are especially in a very Korean populated city, like in California, that would be somewhere in Orange County or LA, there's a lot of local kimchi shops where they solely sell kimchi. That is probably your best bet. If you don't have that, then check out your local Korean grocery store. That's also a great best bet where you're going to see a lot of local brands stock their kimchi there. Now, if you aren't in a Korean populated city, we would have to recommend somewhere like Costco, where they carry brands that are imported from Korea. The brand that they carry is called Chongga, Jongga, and it's probably the top brand you could eat from Korea. So we would recommend that one as well. And then you could go into Whole Foods, Target potentially, and kind of like those whole food type market organic foods that sell a bit more diverse foods.
Interesting. Who knew, Becky? Who knew?
Who knew? I'm excited.
All right, we're going to continue our conversation with Sarah Ahn, AHN, of the. She and her mother wrote the UMMA, UMMA cookbook. That was our second in a 4-part series of interviews that we did with Sarah, and look forward to next week. We're going to talk about some of the Korean recipes that have transcended Korea into American pop culture. On Camera Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
I'm a little nervous. I'm always nervous. This is like deja vu all over again, in a weird way. Reintroducing bagels that I made once again. Are they as chewy as they once were? You probably don't remember.
I just stole Annie's. I don't know.
I got to get close like that.
Delicious.
You got to talk like that.
Delicious.
Oh, I can hear me now. I get really close. Is there a camera on me getting this close and intimate with the mic? Okay.
Switch it
Yeah,
right now.
right there.
Oh boy. All right.
Good news is Angelica's in the background. She makes you look better.
Well, yeah. Everybody makes me look better. I'm married to a woman who makes me look better.
That's awesome.
Lucky man.
So the key is just right up to the mic like you are, and
Yeah.
you got it.
Do this?
Yep.
All right. Feels real close. I don't think I've ever been this close to a piece of foam before.
Do you want some water?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind some water. I don't have to do that.
There's
on the
one right
microphone,
there.
do I?
Yeah. These are pretty delicious.
Thank you. I hope you don't get a tummy ache.
I just took my histamine one.
Oh, sesame seeds are stuck in my teeth now.
That's why I went to the bathroom.
That's why you
Check
didn't
my-
do. That's why you didn't do the poppy seed, right?
Oh, I love poppy seeds.
Well,
though, too.
Tom has to do a drug test later, so he can't.
Yeah, I understand. I love our poppy seeds. I think they're the best things around. They're.
Where do you get them from?
Are they special?
Yeah, they're organic. They
Can you
come.
save this for the radio, please?
Okay. God.
Did
So
you give those
demanding.
nice folks some? Good.
Oh, beautiful! You got all the schmears.
Look at that. And we need you guys to finish that entire pot of coffee.
Welcome back to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo. I'm Tom Douglas.
And I'm Bridget Charters.
We are blessed with the company of Andrew Rubenstein or Stein.
Stein.
Stein, of course. I should know that. He's,
Let's get to steak in a lot.
he is the owner of Hey Bagel in University Village. He is a well-known bagel maker around town, and have been for how many years now?
7 or 8.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And this is your newest project, Hey
Yep.
Bagel,
Yep.
and lines out the door.
Lines at the door, although spring break freaks me out right now. It's a little quieter. We don't have lines as much during the week, which is
Uh-huh.
pretty cool. So people can walk up and
Get
it
a
just becomes a backfill. It just
Right.
sort of, it doesn't, you don't have to wait forever. You just sort of load up and they just move in and out and we
Move in
just
and
keep unloading bagels.
Love that.
Yeah.
Tell me about a bagel. Tell me about your background and why you're fascinated with bagels. I mean, you're an artist and a painter, and
Yep.
the natural course of that is the Smithsonian
It's bagels.
more than or Soho, New York, or someplace like that, more than
Yeah.
bagels.
Yeah, well, iconoclast is sort of the nature of being a artist to some degree, and somebody who doesn't really, who needs to do their own thing, I guess, and make things. And
Right.
I'd had a lot of shots at different sort of jobs, being in marketing, being in sales, and I really just sort of came to my last firing because I was not so interested in what I was selling, and I had a sales coach observe how much happier I am when I make things. At the time, I was thinking about bagels because there just wasn't a great bagel in my opinion, and I also thought that you could do this thing. I liked hosting people, and I thought if I did one object, not get into anything as big as what you do, which is super complicated to me,
Uh-huh.
that maybe I could,
Oddly, it's complicated to me too.
the kiss method, the keep it simple, stupid method is what I was trying to do. I have some bakers in the family, and I just decided that it was time for a better bagel.
So, had you gone out to different bagel shops because you craved a bagel and then you just weren't happy?
Yep, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and Seattle in 2017 really didn't have this zeitgeist movement where we have a bunch of
Right.
new
It's
bagel
not the
shops.
Upper East Side or West Side.
It's not.
No.
So I felt, at that time I thought I was on the bleeding edge of the whole thing. Turns out that there were a lot of us nationwide thinking about the better bagel. I mean, think about, we had better burgers, we had better donuts, we had better ice cream, cupcakes, all that stuff. So eventually
Pizza.
it had to
Yeah.
happen. It had to happen.
Yeah.
I think it happened a while ago, though, didn't it?
Well, I
In
mean,
terms of the better bagel, isn't this something that's ongoing?
well, you had the bagel boom when Einstein sort of showed up, but then Einstein, in my opinion, super refined, super scaled, started talk about poor flour, poor everything else like that. They stripped away the greatness of anything that scales too fast. I think is a risk.
Yeah, it's a risk.
And then everybody went onto this carb-free movement, so the bagel bust happened. So, but I don't think until about 2019 when I launched Rubenstein Bagels that we were seeing in this region a boom. And then all of a sudden, one of your former employees, Rowan, opened up Mount Bagel at the same time. And then the pandemic came. And in my opinion, it became sort of a depression era sort of food too.
And an easy to go food too.
Yeah, and easy to go food, low cost. You didn't have to wait in line, so no masking. I mean, you know, mask in and out type of thing. So you didn't have a seating issue too. We had a lot of seeds, but no seating. And so I mean, you had everybody from Canlis doing it to keep their staff going, and there was then there really became this movement going on. Yeah, Pork Chopping Company,
which led you to today.
Yeah.
And lines out the door again.
Lined out the door
like
again.
You had at Rubenstein's in the beginning.
Yep. This is a different model. The new model, which is what I always wanted from Rubenstein, was hot bagels all day long.
All day long. So every 20 minutes, you say?
Every 20 minutes. Or if the line's slower, then we slow our cadence down.
Right.
So we can still try to deliver on a hot bagel promise throughout the day. I baked my last batch yesterday at 4:30.
Wow.
You know, you don't get that other places.
Right.
And I only did maybe 100 bagels at that moment, put them out so that people could come get them and get them hot.
Well, you brought us beautiful bagels. Maybe you can tell us about that. And they still came, I don't know how long your drive was, but they still came warm.
Well, just from University Village. Yeah, they came warm. So I brought you a handful of bagels. I brought you everything we have technically, but I brought you 3 of our bialys that we serve in the early part of the day. One of them's over there, but I brought we have a Fresno cheddar cheese. Sorry, I said it just like one of my staff. It's a Fresno chili with cheddar cheese. And then I have a caramelized onion and Gruyere bialy, little French soupy. My sesame bagel, my everything bagel, salt and plain. And then I've got a poppy. All my seeds have a little bit of salt in the seeds. I like salt. I think it boosts it
so
all
it's a salt seed mix.
A little bit of a salt seed mix.
So I have a question about how you get them to stick. We had Nathan Mirvold from Modernist Bread on the show, and he has a whole chapter in his book about making a slurry, or he had some science behind the different methods. So how do you do it?
So we just dip them into the.
Well, they come out of water, a water bath where they're boiled, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then that creates a little bit of a gluten-y, sticky surface to it on the outside of the bagel to begin with. And it depends on the timing of it. Some seeds need to sit, some bagels need to sit and tack up a little bit longer, like the sesame seed. If you go too fast, they don't stay on as long. Everything else, if you want to do an everything bagel, you want to put it on really quickly because you want to sort of hydrate your garlic and your onions so they don't burn as much because you want the wetness from the bagel type thing. But I will say some seeds don't stick as well. Sesames and some batches of sesame seeds aren't sticking as well. Currently, the new batch isn't.
Is that freshness?
I don't have an answer.
Oh.
They won't tell me.
No, it looks like it's stuck to me. Bialy and bagel. People are confused
I know.
because I always thought it was bialy sticks, and is the way I've
A
looked at
bialy
them.
stick?
Like it's a long oblong stick.
I've heard people say
a
that.
circle,
Yeah. So bialys have traditionally been a circle, a depression in the center of it, like a little pizza. But they came from Bialystok, Poland. I'm not going to know the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they're old school. They're not boiled. They're typically done with a softer flour. I use the same mix. We just treat it differently.
Okay.
We don't boil it, and we top it with certain things.
Okay, at the beginning of the show, during our opening, I talked a little bit about you and I having quite the difference in intent on eating a bagel.
Yeah.
I want mine toasted. I want it sesame.
Forget it. I'm done.
I want it toasted. And I want my cream cheese to kind of half melt into the toasted. And not just toasted. I'm talking brown. I want some brown on my bagel. What the hell's the problem?
Well, so, okay, a couple problems. I've got a shop that's small, and toasting in a line will set that line back 5 minutes per person.
Okay, so I can live with that one. I live with that excuse.
Okay.
I thought there was something more organic about your issue.
There is, because they're a hot bagel, and in my opinion, typically a hot bagel, you put cream cheese on it, it turns to goo, okay?
Yeah.
And it drips over everything, and you lose the body of the cream cheese.
Of the cream cheese.
of the cream cheese.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, don't tell anybody, but when I'm at home, I toast my bagels sometimes.
And so do you toast them when you're at home because you're kind of reheating, you're bringing them back to life? Is that why you toast them at home? Or do you
Yeah,
like
yeah,
them-
yeah. I do a few things. I typically do the thing where it's on the back of my bag too, just like you do with your loaf of bread. Quickly wet it, shove it in the oven,
Right.
and that turns it into this really crispy, wonderful interior. You crack it open, it steams, it's awesome. And then
That makes sense to me.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I will slice it and toast it because I also like a crackly crust sometimes. Crackly
Ah.
crust.
And if your bagel's 2
So
days
I'm not
old,
100% off.
no, if your
No.
bagel's 2 days old, slice
Throw
it and
it away.
toast it. No,
Or make bagel chips.
toast it
No, it's too late. 2 days
No,
is too
it's
late.
no, not with
No,
the
it's
not with
not.
the sourdough bagel.
with
It's got all
this
that life.
super fresh. Yeah, and they're organic.
And they're organic.
They're
Are you
organic?
using the wheat from up north?
No, I'm using Central Milling, but part of that wheat is coming from Washington State,
Uh-huh.
And it's organic.
and it's organic.
And
All right.
it's sourdough, so it's better for you.
So, Becky, tell us where that people can get this bagel.
At heybagel.net.
That's right.
So you can pre-order.
You can go. You cannot pre-order.
Oh, okay.
The lines
There's
are
no
too
cutting the
long. It's too
line.
much. It's too hard for us to do that right now.
But you have a load zone in front.
Yes, right.
Sweet, so you can
Yeah,
just
just
swing
back up.
in.
Just back up your truck and.
Do you ever have any resellers issues?
Yes.
People buy 2 dozen and then sell a dozen
I heard
to somebody
about
in
in the
line.
beginning. I heard about a church group that was actually doing that.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, go see Andrew Rubenstein. He's the owner of Hey Bagel in U Village, and have a good time and meet a neighbor while you're in line.
That's right.
That's
right.
awesome. Yeah,
It's
thank
Cairo
you so
Radio.
much.
It's the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo 97.3 FM.
Awesome.
I warned you about that double eggs Benedict, right? Because there's more.
You guys split one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang around for a cream cheese.
Good. I like that. Oh, yeah, the cookie. Ugh, that is a weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try it. She near? All right, let's do the tasting panel, or are we not quite ready for that? Are we ready for a tasting panel? All right, we'll take a few minutes. All right.
I told her 9:55 would be.
My base is my cream cheese is really
Taylor.
Yay. Annie? Yeah, she's just minutes away. But thank you for. It's okay. I thought I had my mind followed.
These are pretty delicious.
Delicious. Rachel's just.
I'm a bagel ignoramus. I've just never been attracted to bagels. But this is pretty darn good. Huh.
Okay. I thought it was so good. Hi. Tunnel, and I'm like, yeah, I like it.
I followed you a little bit.
Oh, that was a joke. I forgot. It was so good. I know it did. Untoasted bagel. Is he okay?
So you like the untoasted? Yeah, let me go get some more and find out. Okay, Rachel, we're ready for you.
I'm coming.
Private audience.
My little list out in case I forget something.
I did. For my friend Andrew.
I wasn't sure if it was a bagel or a hamburger. Of course, it's a bagel.
It's a bagel. That's how
A
you can tell if
hamburger?
someone's Jewish.
Did
or
you
not.
have? Did you have a
That
hamburger?
is such a Kirkland thing to say.
I know it's the most goyish. It's the most goyish comment on this sweater. Yeah, I love it.
That's unbelievable.
I don't have a hamburger sweater yet.
Wow.
It's a Lox burger, Becky.
Yeah, yeah. It's a pastrami on. No, that would be not goyish enough. Let's see. Boop, boop, boop.
Where'd she go?
I think she left because I was mean to her.
I think so. You called her a
And
Goya.
she's never coming back.
Wow.
Okay.
All right, we're here back in the kitchen, hour number 2 of the Hot Stove Society show, and we are going to lead off with Rachel Bell, who we've sworn would never be back on this show.
Oh,
and
come
here
on.
she is sitting in the guest mic
Did
chair.
she beat you at trivia or something?
She beats me every time at trivia. and
I had to
don't-
run through the wall like the Kool-Aid man to get in here. You lock
Yeah.
the doors.
Yeah, exactly. And she was late on top of it. She's a food writer
Wow.
and author of the new book called Open Sesame. You did an event here that was sold out, right?
I did. I
Yeah.
did my first cooking class.
Uh-huh.
I
We
was kind
should
of
do
nerve-wracking.
another. That was so fun.
I would love to. Honestly,
a-
I had to was it good? I don't know. But you want me back? I'll come back.
She's a classic radio personality who never shuts up. She's the creator and host of Your Last Meal podcast, of which I was your first guest.
You were my first guest.
And now you're the host of Nosh, The Nosh, with Rachel Bell on Cascade PBS.
We need the for legal reasons.
Yeah, exactly. And tell me, what are you doing with all your money?
Oh my God. I just burn it. I swim through it like Scrooge McDuck. I
Yep.
throw it out the window in the
Uh-huh.
car. It's so fun being rich.
Yeah, I could use an investor if you're looking to.
Oh yeah.
Offload some of that.
Here's a little tip to the youth. If you want to get rich, get into food media.
Yeah, there you go. And if you have a large fortune and you want a small one, get into the restaurant business.
That's right. You could be a thousandaire in no time.
All right. Tell us about your new season of The Nosh.
Yes, so the Nosh, it's on Cascade PBS, which is Channel 9 if you're local. You can watch it online at cascadepbs.org. Last April and May was the first season. It was a little 4-episode season, and this one's a full 8.
Wow, you must have really wowed them.
Yeah, I said I need a Hanukkah of shows, and they said, "Oh, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll give you 8." So they're 8.5 minutes, like little tasty bites, and basically it is the storytelling that I've always done as a journalist at Cairo, but all food and drink. So the first 2 episodes are themed on a topic that I love, which is zero waste and low waste. So in the first episode,
you fit the mold. You have zero waste.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I'm a lady. I don't waste anything.
Yeah.
The first episode, I know you've had him on before, Joel Gamaran, who is a local
He's a
and PBS
powerhouse.
host. Yeah, he is.
And a good friend of Loretta's and Tom's.
Yeah, that's right. And he came over to my house and looked through my disgusting fridge. Like when I saw the footage back, I'm like, girl, why didn't you clean your fridge?
Yeah, no kidding. You didn't know you were going to be on
Were
TV,
you the
huh?
condiment queen?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was like an 80s sitcom where they open the closet and all the basketballs are falling out, like tomatoes rolling across the floor. So he came to my house, we looked through the fridge, and then we made a zero waste meal. The second episode is really fun. I got to go down to the Salt and Straw headquarters in Portland, Oregon. Every April, they do an upcycled ice cream series where they go to a place called Urban Gleaners, and it's all this food that would have ended up in dumpsters.
Nice.
And they make ice cream flavors. So we got to make an ice cream flavor on the fly. So that's just the first 2 episodes.
Out of the dumpster.
Can you tell us
Love
what
that.
the ice cream flavor was, or is it a surprise?
No, it's a surprise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to watch the show to find
All right.
out. But we get into everything from Seattle pizza to taking a look at some of the more interesting coffee shops that have opened. There's an Ethiopian coffee ceremony in Pike Place Market. Lots of Vietnamese coffee in town. I go hiking with a very popular outdoor cooking influencer on TikTok, and we cook a fancy meal in the woods. So we go all over the place.
Wow.
Super fun.
Sounds amazing.
And was
Speaking of Vietnamese, I just got a new gin called Sung Kai, and it's lemongrass and basil and
Ooh.
flavored. So good. But just
That
saying,
sounds
I don't
really
know,
good.
it just popped into my head for some reason.
Apropos
When I
of
see you,
nothing.
I want to take a drink.
Well, take one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just have turmeric tea in front of me.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's too early for gin at this hour.
A little
Okay.
early.
Yeah. So I was curious if you did anything at home that was in the zero waste, low waste realm. Like I have a list here of things that I do. Is there anything that you do?
I don't know if you've seen my waist lately, but it is not zero waste.
Waste not, want not.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty good at home about not wasting things. Like, for example, we're heading into asparagus season, and I feel like people waste at
Yes.
least a quarter
So
or a
much.
third
Yes.
of their asparagus for completely old wives' tale reasons, right?
Yes.
They think you have to break it where it snaps naturally, which
Yes.
is total nonsense. First, you just peel the ends, and then it breaks like 2 inches towards the stem closer. So you pick up all that at $5.99, $6.99 a pound. You're throwing away before you even get started. A lot of times, $2 or $3.
I did an Instagram video about that for the same reason. It's big asparagus. They're just trying to get you to buy more asparagus by wasting half of it. Yeah, if you break it off and you look at the tip, if it's bright green, it's totally good.
Yeah,
if it looks
right.
woody, then it's not as good.
Well, here's the thing: just peel off the end,
Yeah.
taste it, cut off a little slice,
Yeah.
and until you get to the
To the
spot,
tender
to the
spot.
tender
Right.
spot, you're good.
Yeah,
Right.
I do that too. One of the things I love to do is when I buy scallions, I immediately put them root down in just like a tiny bit of water, and I just keep them on the counter, and they keep growing in the little jar. So I end
Oh.
up buying half as many scallions because I just keep trimming off of them.
And
you have to-
using just the green.
no, I use both, but like,
Oh.
when I need a whole one, I'll take it out. But, as you put them in the jar, they just keep growing and growing, and you can just use a little as you need it.
That's great.
So Rachel, mine, I do that and I keep them in my fridge. They don't grow as fast. I'm going to pull them out.
Yeah.
Oh,
they like the heat.
Yep.
Well, then I was like, should I put mine in the fridge? I don't know. The only thing that happens is the water gets a little stinky, so
Yeah,
you
it's
have
a
to
little-
change it
it's
out.
like parsley.
I've got one, and that is I see people cutting the heart out of the celery, which is the best part.
That is the best part.
And I turn that into a salad, and it's amazing. And the other thing I add to it is my broccoli stems. So I make this
Yes.
crunchy, crispy. I
Ooh.
peel the broccoli stems, get all that woody stuff off, just trim the dirty end, and then that gets cut on the bias. And then all of those peels I mix with my coffee grounds
Oh, for compost?
and I just toss them out in the garden.
Yes. I also use the celery leaves. My mom taught me for making matzo ball soup. I always put the leaves in, and they're really good on a salad too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then parsley stems too. Don't throw away the stems.
And cilantro stems.
And I turn those into pestos or salsa verdes.
Yeah. So we'll have lots of tips like this on the Nosh. One thing I want to mention, because I got an email from an old Cairo listener, and she said, I was just thinking of this out of the blue. Do you still only use one roll of paper towels a year? And I was like, my goal is one roll for every 2 years. So I buy those Swedish dishcloths. That's what I wipe
right.
the counter off with. And I only need paper towels for bacon and cat grossness.
That
Oh.
sounds like Tom.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's talk about those Swedish towels. How often do you bleach them?
I put them in the washing machine.
How often? And does your washing machine have a bleach finish? It probably doesn't. All commercial ones do it. My restaurants do, but home ones do not.
Do you have to bleach it?
You have to bleach them, or you're just spreading germs all over the place with
Well-
that Swedish towel.
You can boil them.
Just like your sponge in your kitchen sink sponge. It
Yeah.
has to be. You just have a little bucket of bleach water and
Okay.
squeeze it in and out, and just do it once a day. Your bleach water will last 3 to 4 hours before it dissipates. The bleach
Okay.
dissipates, but you don't want hot water. You want room temperature water. 'Cause
Oh.
hot water will make it dissipate immediately. But a bleach rinse is by law what we have to do in all of our restaurants. So,
Good
Miss Smarty on the
tip.
Swedish pancakes over there. That's what they
Swedish
look like.
pancakes.
That's what they look like. They're thin, and my wife loves them, and they're just dirty and gross. And it's like I throw them away every time I see them.
Well, you can put them in the washing machine. I'm assuming that must get a lot of the germs
On the
out.
hot wash, right?
With bleach.
Has to be bleach.
Sure. How else are you going to get rid of the salmonella from chicken
Soap.
or anything else?
I don't use it for chicken. I don't use it for anything like
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Anyway, I just burst in your bubble a little bit there on
No,
your
that's
Swedish
okay.
towels.
No. You bleached my bubble. My bubble's so clean now.
Me, on the other hand, I buy paper towels that are renewed paper towels. You know, they're made from
Bamboo?
compostable. No, like
Oh.
ground up cardboard,
bamboo.
whatever
Yeah.
it is that they're using old paper for.
Shoes.
Because to me, they are a renewable resource, and I know some people in the other movements like you don't agree with that. But to
Us
me,
extremists.
you extremists,
Well,
they're a renewable resource.
and your paper towels need to go into the compost.
yeah, they do go in my compost.
So, Rachel,
Yeah.
one thing on your list I'm super interested to hear about is the green parts of leeks. What do you do with those?
Okay.
Ooh, so much.
So I learned this from Jill Leitner, who is a local food writer. She wrote a book. I don't remember the title exactly. It's like Stems, Scraps, and Peels, something like that. It's a great book.
Oh.
And what she says to do, which I have done, is because usually you just use the white part of the leeks and the dark green is kind of tough. You wash them and you dry them and you cut them into maybe like 2-inch long chunks. And then you put olive oil and salt and you put them in the oven at a high heat. You have to watch them because they will burn.
Full of sugar. Yeah.
Just wait
Oh.
until they get crispy and they taste exactly like sour cream and onion chips.
No.
They
Really?
are so good. Oh my God. It's kind of magical.
How
But
much
you have to
olive
watch
oil?
'em.
How much?
What's that?
How much olive oil?
I don't know. I never
Just
measure.
well-coated.
Just
Just a little
Coated,
bit.
yeah.
Not-
Well
not
coated
poaching.
like kale.
Okay,
Not deep
gotcha.
Like you're
fried.
making
Yeah.
crispy
Okay,
kale.
thank you.
well coated so that they're not dry and they won't burn around the edges. Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow, that's a great one.
What do you do with them?
Oh, I use them in everything. You can saute them. Let's just, how on the Ruby chard that
Yes.
you saute the stems first for 5 minutes, and then you add the green tops because they cook in different amounts of times. And we're so used. There's another compost thing. People throw all those great Ruby chard stems in the compost,
Yes.
and they're so delicious. Anyway, same thing with the Greek top or leek tops. Is you can saute them and braise them down. You can
I've
put
been
them
wasting.
in fish stock. You can put
Mm.
anywhere you want to put them.
Okay, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
going to the grocery store right after the show.
Make yourself some chips.
Getting some leeks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, of course, what I'm sure you guys do, the most obvious thing is you save all that stuff and you make stock with it. You just,
Mhm.
Yeah.
put all your scraps in the freezer. And eventually, when the bag
Sadly, in
gets too
a
big,
Ziploc bag. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
I do in mine too, but then I wash it
Then you
afterwards
wash
and
it
I dry it.
That's awesome.
My mom hates all of this. She gets so mad at me. I use this solid dish soap that I buy at the Ballard Farmers Market that has no package. My mom will go out when she's visiting and spitefully buy the biggest bottle of Blue Dawn that she can, and she's
Oh
my
just
God.
squirting it everywhere. She will use so many paper towels. Like, she gets mad about it. My
How
mom
did you
hates
get-
the earth.
How did you get going on? I mean, I love this because I kindred spirit, but how did you get going on this?
Some of it actually comes from my dad because my dad's an immigrant, and this is like classic immigrant behavior. My mom's an American, so she hates the earth. But then I think just over the years, kind of Just
So
picking
she
up
hates
little
the earth.
tips from different people. Yeah. Earth Day's coming up. Don't tell Barbara. Burn
I
it
know
down.
the thing that I'm hoping for. Oh, okay.
You have to finish that.
Okay, I have to finish it. The thing that I'm hoping for is that restaurants, they're composting, but they start to preserve all the waste products that they generate, like
Yes.
gloves and plastic wrap, and that they start saving that. I want
There's
to start
so
a
much
Great. I
program.
can hardly
Tom.
wait. Thank you for that. I spend $15,000 a month on latex gloves.
Really?
15,000.
It's-
Now you want me to save them and regenerate.
It's a
No,
health
no, no.
department.
Just
No
just
choice.
Recycle.
All right.
You could
up
turn them
next,
into balloon
Rachel,
animals.
your friend Arthur Rubenstein is here.
Andrew Rubenstein.
Andrew, I'm sorry. He's not playing the piano.
He's my
Andrew
friend and I know his
Anyway,
name.
he's brought bagels and cream cheese, so we thought we'd have a cream cheese taste off today.
I cannot wait. I actually
Hot
wore
Stove
my
Society.
bagel sweater today in honor of
Oh, that's
Andrew
not a
being here.
hamburger.
We got a tasting
Oy
panel on
vey.
Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. Is that a vanilla wafer? What
That's
is
what
that on
she's
your
spending
sweater?
her money on.
You look really cute in that hat.
I know. I love this.
All right, let's get our cheeses out.
I'm
for
going to
a
wear this
tasting
playing
here.
tennis.
No, just-
We're, share 'cause she's way too
We're
tall.
very different
I should
heights.
probably stand next
You
to
could
her.
stand and I can
Yeah,
sit.
that's right.
Yeah.
I'm-
And we can be.
I'm the Hobbit and she's the elf.
Let's bring our barbershop quartet back. Come on in.
in.
Mamma Mia, is that what they say? Oh, I'll do that one. Mama, mama. A little not death leopard, death metal.
Death metal, right.
Death metal, death leopard.
King Gizzard.
How were you able to get away from the shop? Sheesh. Thank you.
Happening.
People are doing
They're
it.
doing my-
There's still really long lines. Oh,
No, it's like it's becoming this freak. It's freaking me out.
because it's not super long lines.
Just, I mean, we still have the same sales by the end of the
Oh.
day. It just goes. It just goes longer
Okay, so fewer people buying more bagels.
at once.
Okay.
So in the end, same amount of bagels.
Okay. Oh,
I think
are
I
we
know which
sharing?
one.
And there's a pen there if you guys need.
Oh wait, we're not supposed to look at the paper, are you?
You can choose if you want to cheat or not.
So I've never met a congratulations. I gave it a.
I think you'll be surprised at what I like and don't like. Can't put baby in a corner, you know.
Whoa. It's so interesting. You have them lined up. You can really taste it. Well, that one, how different they are, yeah. Me neither. No.
I couldn't find the
Find Gina Marie.
Like sour cream, yeah.
I like the little bit more sour ones. I'm surprised, the probiotic ones.
Yeah. This one's very white. Oh, vegan.
Oh, yeah, save the earth, and you give me that look.
I get it from my mother. I'm not bad for a vegan. It just tastes like butter, though. It's like Fabio's butt.
All right, we're back here in the kitchen on the Hot Stove Society show. It's Tom Douglas and Bridget Charters, and we're in the middle of our Hot Stove Society tasting panel. We've invited Arthur Rubenstein to play the piano and
That's how he
Andrew
checks into
Rubenstein to do a
hotels.
tasting
From Hey Bagel.
from Hey Bagel over at U Village. Rachel Bell has stayed here.
That's my
We
intro.
can't get rid of her. We tried to say your segment's up, and she just sat in the chair and won't leave.
Because I'm a cream cheese monster.
Oh, are you?
Long-time Cairo listeners know that I'm obsessed with sour cream. I get
Uh-huh.
emails still about this from like a decade ago when I did ads with,
You had a little breakdown
Dairy
on
Gold.
the air.
yeah. But cream cheese is my second love of
How
my
did you
life.
two meet? You and Mr. Arthur Rubenstein.
I think
I reached out when.
Oh, you have to
I
talk
think
to
I
you.
reached out when you were doing your thing when you
podcast
on
or
your
the
podcast
nosh?
when I was working out of the commissary kitchen.
I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
Andrew reached out to me. I don't know if it was because you listened to my podcast or Cairo Radio, and he invited me to come make bagels with him when he was still just doing it on his own in a commissary kitchen
You're doing
downtown.
pop-ups, right?
Yeah, I was at It was when I was out of Cortina.
Okay.
And I went, I think it was my birthday. Might have been like my 40th birthday, I think. Oh,
25th.
Oh, so like 10 years
25th.
ago.
yeah.
You guys have known each other a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Anyway, you know, we're Jewish. We love bagels. We love each other. That's how it
Okay.
works.
All
And Andrew was on season 1 of Vinash.
Ah,
And it's
perfect.
actually the best episode. I submitted it for an Emmy. So cross your fingers, everybody.
Oh my God.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We submit our shows for awards every year. too.
How's that going?
We haven't heard back yet. We're in our 25th season.
Anyway, I love cream cheese so much that I eat it plain. I cannot buy it at home because I'll take the brick and I'll just eat it like a sandwich.
You will not. You're
Andrew,
Yes, I
exaggerating.
will.
tell us about your thoughts on cream cheese and what we should be looking for as we do this taste test.
Okay, I personally just like. First of all, I like Philadelphia cream cheese
Right, that's
as a
what I
base.
grew up on. Yeah.
Yep, and you can judge me or whatever, but I like it tangy, but I don't like it super tangy. I don't want it going too far, and I also like it having a creamy quality, not a chalky.
What's the
brittle
tang
quality.
for you? Is it the sour cream tang, or is it more of a lemony tang or citrus?
I think it's a sour cream tang
Sour
for
cream
me.
tang.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well-
Becky, how about you?
Well, I want to start off with, let's start with a quick backstory on cream cheese in
Okay.
general. Cream cheese, as we know it, got its start in New York in 1872 when a dairyman named William Lawrence added extra cream to a batch of Neufchâtel, a soft French cheese from Normandy, and ended up with something richer and smoother. He called it Philadelphia cream cheese, and the rest is history. Today, for cheese to be called cream cheese in the US, the FDA says it has to have at least 33% milk fat and no more than 55% moisture. That's what gives it its smooth, tangy goodness we're tasting today.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
And so
It seems like some low.
So, what brand do you use at your house?
you typically like to get an organic brand.
Uh-huh.
And it's really fun that we've done this tasting because now I know my favorite.
Okay, good. Bridget, what's your background on cream cheese?
You know, I used to
Other
love
than
when
you have a mouthful.
I have
of
a
it right now.
mouthful of his delicious sesame bagel with some of the cream cheese that I liked. But when I was in high school, my mom was always warning me off of cream cheese because it was fattening. Because I was doing what Rachel was doing and slathering it on toast and stuff like that. And I discovered the New York cheesecake at this bakery down in Tacoma. Again, getting warned off because of the calories. So I don't use it a ton, but I like the organic kind of probiotic brands.
I didn't grow up with the bagel culture in my house,
Yeah.
so I didn't use it that way very much unless
You and
we
me
were
both.
out.
Yeah.
But we always had Philadelphia brand craft or Philadelphia brand cheesecake. And that was often my
Yeah.
birthday wish for my
Really?
dessert was my mom's
Cheesecake, huh?
cheesecake. Yeah, with the graham cracker crust. And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's how I had cream cheese as a kid. Okay, now I like it. If I were to go and not get a toasted bagel at Hey Bagel, I would
Right.
have the just out of the oven warm sesame slathered with plain cream cheese and piled high with lox.
So
That
much
doesn't
sauce.
sound bad.
At Hello Bagel, they have a lox cream
Hey
cheese.
Bagel.
course. Hey Bagel, sorry. Hello Kitty at Hail Bagel.
Welcome
with
to Arthur's
Arthur
Hello
Rubinstein.
Kitty's Bagels.
Anyway, I would have it slathered with plain cream cheese or chives cream
Yep.
cheese,
Yep.
and then a big pile of lox on top. That would be my choice. Okay, Becky, you want to start us off with your favorites, or let's
Sure.
start at this end over
Well,
here.
what I want to start off with is the first one Andrew brought, and it from his. And I love it.
It's
Is it-
unfair.
It's unfair, but what do you do? You whip it or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
That's
whip
why it's the only reason it's unfair is that
Okay.
whipped is so lovely.
It's so
Yeah, yeah,
lovely.
yeah,
yeah.
whipping it is.
Yeah.
So we have Philadelphia, Nancy's Probiotic. The third one is Tillamook. The fourth one is Organic Valley. The fifth one is Good Culture Probiotic. And the sixth one is Violife. And that's a vegan version.
That's right.
And that's made with coconut oil, potato starch, sea salt, glucodelta lactone, natural flavors, olive extract, interesting, and vitamin B12. So, Rachel, why don't you lead us off?
I love doing these tastings because if you're just out in the world and you have one choice in front of you, you kind of just eat it. But having these 6 lined up, they taste so different and the
Uh-huh.
textures
Yes,
are
I
so
agree.
different. I have to say, I feel bad for the PNW because my least favorite is the Tillamook.
Mhm.
I found the Tillamook to be very gummy and actually a little bit sweet. The vegan one is interesting. It's not bad for vegan. It tastes very buttery. My two favorites, I was surprised by this. The classic Philadelphia
Yeah.
is actually my favorite. And my second favorite is the Good Culture Probiotic, which actually tastes a lot like sour cream.
Yeah,
It's
we're on the
very
same
tangy.
page. Those are my 1 and 2 also.
Your
Again,
favorites.
it's not fair because Andrew or Arthur whipped it up before he got here. And when you add air to things like this, not only is the texture nicer, but air really exposes all the flavors.
Yeah.
So the Philadelphia was whipped by
Yeah.
you?
I
Okay.
mean, with my hands.
Not by Devo. They didn't whip it real good.
No, I'm not going to be as articulate as Rachel here. I of course I like the Philadelphia. I think the Via Life, we serve Via Life and we mix our vegan flavors with
Do you whip
Via
it?
Life. We do whip it.
Okay,
You
that
whip it
would-
good?
Then it would
We
be
whip it
okay.
really, really,
Really
good.
good.
Yeah.
And how does it hold up to whipping?
Pretty
Fine.
good. Yeah. I was concerned it would break down and turn into like liquid, but it does not. And we are able to put in inclusions, which is unusual. And I think it's a nice treat for the vegan folks. So I like it fine. It's too buttery of a flavor for me. I think my second favorite would probably be Nancy's on here. I do think the probiotics have a little bit of a nice tang to them.
Yeah. I thought Nancy's and the Good Culture were both very similar.
Yeah. Yeah. But Philly, it's got my heart.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. The whipped is a game changer. I was thinking I don't like the Vio Life, but if you could whip it with other things, it tasted like fake butter to me.
Yeah. That's how we it's like, it's, I can't
Like
believe
what
it's not
margarine
butter
might be like or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
But if you were whipping things in it, if someone was a vegan, that would be perfect.
A lot of folks don't want to eat soy-based products anymore.
Right.
So that's that.
Yeah.
But I would say my favorite is the number 2, Nancy's probiotic. I love that. And the Organic Valley was kind of sticky and yuck to me.
Well, yeah. And if you look at Tillamook, even their vanilla ice cream, it just is all full of gums. And
Yeah.
it's not my favorite
Yeah.
texture.
Actually, it's interesting looking. You listed all the ingredients here. It looks like Tillamook is one of the only ones that doesn't have any gums in it. It just says cultured pasteurized milk and cream, pasteurized skim milk, and sea salt. I don't know why it's so gummy.
Yeah. I don't know, but their ice cream does.
Dense. I think I agree with Becky. I like the Nancy's probiotic. I like that tanginess, but you know, it'd be delicious in a cheesecake. And I didn't mind the vegan. I wouldn't call it cream cheese. I'd call it a spread.
Right.
Because there's no comparison, right?
Right. But people really like
And
it
Well,
a
there is a
lot.
comparison. It's white and it's thick and I'd say if you didn't know better. To me, I got a little coconut out of it, which I didn't care for.
Yeah.
So
Right. I mean, it's pleasant. I didn't think any of them, I gave them all kind of 2 stars, except Nancy's, which I gave 3 stars.
Okay, Tom. What's
I
your
already
verdict?
said mine.
Oh, you did. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I already said I'm Philadelphia 1, and then Nancy's and Good Culture are my tie
We're
for mine.
twins. Do you want to be Danny DeVito or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I want to be Arnold.
Okay, I'll be Danny
So that I can
DeVito.
dance with.
I have to say that Good Culture, which was the one that is kind of like the sour cream tang, everything they make is so good. Their cottage cheese is the only one that I'll buy.
And high protein.
All right, up next, Andrew Bope is here, and Keith Johnson with Solo Esto Mezcal. And if I were you guys, I'd stick around because it goes really good with cream cheese and bagels.
I like mezcal.
I love a cream cheese back with the mezcal.
You bet. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Now I want a bagel. Yes.
Do you have a stool?
Stool boom. Check my lipstick.
Pull out our box.
Am I going on that side? I'm allowed behind.
Where the magic happens.
All right.
Find out what mezcal you used mezcal once when you were down at the dock.
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna
Well, I had
do
so
every
many different ones
single
from
one.
all the different bars that I went. Yeah.
We all doing our rooms, like.
Really? I like the one there.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile again. Overtime. All right, Rachel's pose.
This is where you
Oh
really
my
shine.
goodness, Taylor.
Okay, one more.
I know. Arthur Rubinstein is a famous stoner.
Arthur Rubinstein. Yeah, he was really good.
Smile again. Smile like you need it. Okay.
Now let's do one.
Oh, I'm
Come on, I'll do it for you.
What a wussy.
Okay, I took it.
All right. Not gonna do it. I'm too professional.
Thank you, good to see you again. Good to see you again, yeah.
We ran into each other at brunch or lunch or something.
Yeah, on Friday.
Something. Afternoon eating.
And how did you recognize each other?
Well, I had a hat on. I was in full
Ah.
mode. I was honestly afraid to. Yeah, I saw her and then met her friend, who actually, my friend follows.
Ah,
My friend is a famous astrologer who's the Astro Twins.
that explains a lot.
And I'm not an astrologer.
How can you be famous? You're not.
No, not at all.
All right. Come on, boys.
Where do you want to serve?
You can go one on each mic. Uh-oh.
Yeah, just tell us what you want.
You tell us what you want, we'll pour out.
Right away, get ready for tomorrow.
We like to taste before the segment so that we're not slurping on the air.
Oh, thank you.
I got espadine here.
On my left. Just pour. What did you call the second one? Tobalao? And the third one's what? Are you guys tasting tequila or mezcal? Okay.
You guys want to? Great.
We can handle that for you. You guys have a seat. Cam, mezcal makes Cam take his clothes off, so be careful on that one. Yeah, just take the glasses and bottles. And then when you're done pouring, bring the bottles back for us, if you would. All of you YouTube watchers, look what you're missing here today. Bagels, cream cheese, breakfast, mezcal.
Okay. Close. All right.
So let's practice because you have to be right up on top of it. Even if your bottom lip hits it, that's good.
Yep. Just
Back
like
here is
right
not
here.
good.
Right,
Yep.
right here, like
Good.
this. Like this. Good. Good.
Yep.
Check. Check. Check.
Yep.
Get right up there, right on top of it.
Right on top. Right
Oh,
here.
perfect.
Good.
It's
Good.
foam,
Good.
It doesn't hurt.
Okay. It's good.
Just pull it closer to him. Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
I like he gets the title of chef and you get nothing. What's the deal on that?
He's a winemaker.
Can't you be a
chef,
doctor?
Winemaker.
chef outranks winemaker, I guess.
You can't be a doctor. So
I'm not a doctor.
doctor of mezcal.
He could be that. He
Yeah.
could.
And you're friends with Madeline Dow Pennington.
Correct. I've known Madeline since
I'm sorry.
our restaurant
for
in
you.
Boise. You know,
Yeah,
so
I'm
way back.
sorry for
Yeah.
you.
Wow.
That is, you've put in your time.
Yeah, she's awesome. I love Madeline. Yeah,
Really?
she's doing great out in Walla
I've
Walla.
never
so.
spoken to
Is
anyone
she?
who feels
Oh
that
yeah,
way.
yeah. She loves it out there.
Hopefully Madeline's listening today.
I think she said she was going to try and tune in
Yeah,
and do
I've
a little
never
watch
heard anyone
party.
say it.
We can ask Becky to look and see if she's tuned in.
If she's not, then you really know what kind of friend she is.
I know.
Exactly.
I'll have to give her crap about that when we get back.
Maddie.
I'm just wondering where my glass is, to be honest.
I'll do one too.
No. Wow, I'm just.
Okay, here we go. Ready, set, Cam?
Ready.
It's time for a little smoky mezcal here in the Hot Stove Kitchens at the Hotel Andre in downtown Seattle. We are thrilled to be here with Chef Andre Bope and Keith Johnson, former winemaker, or still
Still winemaker.
still winemaking.
Yes.
You got to pay the bill somehow. I
Got to
guess.
pay the bills somehow,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
mezcal does not do that. At least not yet.
Not yet. You have a new brand out in the marketplace called Solo Esto over the last couple of years. How long has it been around?
2 months.
2 months.
Oh my gosh.
That's why your website's not quite complete yet.
It's pretty rudimentary, but it has enough info.
I
on there,
looked you
think.
up there. Yeah, I saw your beautiful pictures and a little bit about the people who cut or make
the
Make
mezcal.
the-
So
yeah.
some information about the palanquero we work with, Fortunato Hernandez and his family. His daughter Estella, who runs the business.
Fun. So tell us how you got interested, chef side and winemaker side.
I think it just started with a trip to Oaxaca 6-7 years ago, and we both obviously been friends before that. Went down there and kind of fell in love with the culture and the people, and obviously the mezcal. And we did a tasting with a great friend of ours now, Alvin Starkman, who's probably one of the leading experts on mezcal that there is. And we went out to this family's palenque and tasted, and I think we both looked at each other like, hey, there's something going on here. And we kind of went back and hatched this plan, and that's kind of how it started. That was about 6 years ago.
And did you add another buddy to this mix also?
We did. Our friend Jim German, who's a well-known barman around Seattle, who's been in Walla Walla for 20 years now.
Fun. And so, were you mezcal heads before this? You like the product rather than say tequila heads?
Yeah, I think tequila has been so adulterated; it's no longer a pure product. And so, whereas mezcal, I mean, the only ingredients here are roasted agave and water. That's it. And so, for me, the connection between that and wine really made sense. You can taste the different varieties. I think you obviously tasted through them.
Right.
They all are very distinct from each other, made from the same plant, just different varieties of it, and by the same person. And I think that really resonated as a winemaker, seeing that.
And is terroir important in there like it is in wine? Like, does it have to be grown on a hillside or stressed, or is the agave plant ubiquitous that way?
I think mezcaleros are a bit more humble than winemakers and don't have grandiose ideas about terroir, but absolutely you can taste the difference between different villages where the mezcal comes from. So
different altitudes.
Different.
It grows at all the different altitudes?
In Oaxaca, yes.
Okay.
It grows everywhere. You'll be walking down the street in Oaxaca and there will be an agave growing in the median, and someday someone will harvest that.
I was going to say, somebody comes by your front yard and it's gone.
Yes, exactly. No, that's we were talking with Alvin about it and driving around. Somebody owns all of those, and eventually, when they're ready, and a mezcal takes agave takes 7 to 15 years, sometimes longer.
That's what blows my mind is how
insane.
long
It's
it
not
takes.
It's not quick. It's not a quick process at all. No.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and the size of them. Oh my god.
Yeah, we helped harvest some this last trip down there in December, and the agave that we were working on, it was Espadin, and they were taller than Andre, and Andre's 6'7",
Something.
Yeah, something.
So,
so tequila agave, the ones that are 100% agave, it's distilled like you would distill potatoes for vodka, or very simple, right?
Correct.
Whereas mezcal is what?
well, the big difference is tequila is not roasted in an underground oven. So mezcal is almost always roasted in ground on hardwood flames and roasted for 7 to 10 days in an earthen oven. Whereas tequila, the good stuff, is just roasted in.
So it is
whatever.
roasted still.
It is still roasted, yes, because the piña, the heart of the agave, is not sweet when it comes out of the ground. It's all full of carbohydrates. You have to convert those carbohydrates to sugar so that you have something to ferment to create the alcohol.
So then, what is the big difference between the two? Is it
It's the smoke too, because there's no smoke on the tequila,
Okay.
but there is smoke on the mezcal from the roasting process.
Right.
And
So-
technically, tequila is mezcal, but tequila only comes from the region of tequila in Jalisco, and is only made with the Blue Weber agave.
Okay.
Whereas mezcal from elsewhere in Mexico is made with dozens of varieties of agave, and can be made in, I think it's 7 states that can use the name mezcal.
So when I drink a mezcal, I don't know about you, Bridget, but when I drink one, I crave the smoke like I do in a good peaty Scotch. So often many mezcals have zero real burnt edge to them. Do you like the burnt edge, or do you like a more plain, probably more traditional mezcal? Like
I like a more traditional kind of a cleaner, but I'm not as attracted to smoke as much as you are. But I do love like a pineapple cocktail made with mezcal, and that you get that smoky.
Well, this is mezcal. They're not all smoky. That's my point.
No, but when you get a smoky mezcal, sometimes it's kind of nice to have it in a margarita where there's mango or there's pineapple. I'm not for those fruity cocktails, but there's just that nice balance between the fruit and the smoke, and it kind of mellows things out. Now, it's my understanding that mezcal traditionally, especially the high quality ones, you're only supposed to be sipping them.
Correct. Yeah, they're just most mezcals that are on the higher end are just a sipper. You just want to have not shots, just nice and slow, easy little sip, and that's it. As opposed to, some tequilas that are obviously shots.
What do you boys like to do?
We're sipper. I'm a sipper.
You're a sipper?
Yeah, I'm a total sipper. I don't mind them in a cocktail. A mezcal Negroni, mezcal margarita, all awesome. But if I'm going to drink mezcal, my preferred method is just like we are right here. Just a nice, neat glass. Right. Sit back, relax, sip.
Are the ones that are smokier, are they considered just different or higher or lower quality?
The smoke has nothing to do with the quality. It's the mezcalero that's making the mezcal on how they want the smoke integrated into their agave. And so our mezcals that we're bringing in, there is smoke there, but it's not smoke forward.
Right.
And
which is what scares a lot of people off.
It really does. A lot of people, whenever we try and introduce it to people, they're like, well, I don't like smoky things, and I don't like smoky drinks. I was like, well, maybe just try and see. And they taste it, go, it's not smoky. And we're like, well, that's because the mezcalero didn't intend it to be smoky.
Right.
So what's the timeline here? So they harvest the plant, they get it cleaned up, and then what do?
So they'll bring it back, and this can take quite a while because their ovens hold anywhere from 5 to 10 tons of agave, and they will not roast until they have a full oven because that's a waste of firewood. They don't waste anything.
And do they use mesquite or what kind of wood?
They use mesquite. They use some. I think they use some pine. They use whatever they can find, to be honest. Whatever good quality hardwood they can get. There was one other kind of wood that we really talked about in one of the villages, but I can't remember what they called it. So they'll bring it back, and when they have a full oven worth, they will fill the oven. That will roast for, call it 7 to 10 days. They'll pull that out. They will then, typically, they will let that sit for a while.
What's a while? Couple of days?
A couple of weeks sometimes.
Oh.
They actually, and this is producer to producer. Our producer tends to let them sit for about 2 weeks because they want some mold to start growing and some fermentation to start happening. Then they will chop it up, and then they'll shred it. Fortunato uses a tahona, which is a round stone pulled by a horse to shred the agave.
Or burro sin nombre.
Or a burro. And they then put that into their fermentation tanks with clean water. And that fermentation is, once again, it's all stylistic, but 7 to 14 days. At that point, it's ready to distill. And they then shovel it into the still. They distill it at minimum 2 times. But some mezcals are distilled 3 times. Once again, it's a stylistic choice.
So when you see the darker, cloudier mezcals, those are just one kind of...
Nobody distills once. So every mezcal is distilled at least twice.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to go too technical. There is some, but anyway. But when you see darker or cloudier, there are a couple things it could be. It could be old copper piping that they use that gives it some color, or iron piping, I guess, is with rust.
Mexico.
There's some villages where that's still common. It could be that they age it a little bit in barrels, which is not our favorite for mezcal. I think it's just competes with the flavors, or it could be certain varieties of agave throw color when they're being distilled.
Okay, we only have 2 minutes, so let's jump on to what you brought in front of us. Solo Esto, SOLOESTO is the brand. You said it's not in distribution here yet, or
It is. We just started 2 months ago.
Okay,
We
started
are
selling
the
it.
importer and distributor for
you're
this.
distributor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us what we have and give us a rounded price point.
So we have Espadin first, which is the most common agave in Oaxaca. Price point like retail, where it would be?
Yeah.
Well, what I wish it would be and what retailers put it at is a different thing. This would be around $100 retail. We have a Tobala, which is one of the more well-known higher tier agaves. Very rare, very small agave. Our Tobala would retail for probably in the $150 range. And then we have a Barrio, which is a Karwinski, which is a kind of agave that grows on a stalk. And tends to have a very herbal, savory quality to it. If it doesn't smell like fresh cut grass or green peppers, it's not Karwinski. And our Barrio, which we only brought in 120 bottles of, would retail for close to $200 a bottle.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the group because it is a
Oh,
little
the
bit more
burrito
savory.
is smooth. It's
Yeah.
smooth too.
I like the Tobala.
Oh, the Tobala is my favorite. That's my favorite varietal.
Delicious.
Of agave. Yeah, for sure.
Huh. Interesting. Super fascinating. So, what do you recommend for folks buying this? Just
I would
pick
say
it up
start
to-
where you like. I mean, I'd start with Espadin, and if you're new to it, just dig in on the Espadin and then just move from there. But I mean,
and
if
how
you're-
are folks going to find you guys?
Well, that's why we're over. That's one of the reasons why we're over here is we're just making a market visit, and we're going around to bars and restaurants and talking to people here locally and distributing it here in Seattle. And we have places in Spokane that it's at, and obviously in Walla Walla and Pullman. And
You have to be a
places like
serious drinker in a bar to take on this bottle,
You
right?
do,
'Cause
and
you're
the
looking at
thing is,
$25 to $40 a shot.
Yes.
right.
Yes, you are.
And we're talking we're talking to bars that have a program where people can talk knowledgeably to the consumer
Right,
about the
right.
product as well. So
That's important.
Yeah.
But as far as finding it, you can check out. We'll keep our Instagram updated with placements as well as our
okay.
website. We have, I don't know, about 10 or 12 placements here in Seattle already. And
always
we'll
looking for
continue.
more.
Yes.
Always.
Super fun.
All right,
That's
good
great.
fun. Thanks, fellas.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it.
To all of you out there in listener land, Rub with Love Food for Thought Tasty Trivia is coming your way next on the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
Yes, we did a tasting with Renee about 3 weeks ago.
Her place. She has 20.
Oh, nice. Are you in Gracia or Asadero and Ballard? Nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just it's a tough sell for us because we don't have those kind of bars generally. So, nor do we have someone that can speak to it knowledgeably. We don't have that I know of. I'll send out a note and find out
Yeah,
because it takes somebody who can hand sell it.
Right, you got to be able to have
Yeah.
somebody that can talk knowledgeably about mezcal. That's why kind of the places that we went to have
Right. And from a perspective of what sells in our places, it's more of a well mezcal, like the Granja Namada, that kind of thing. It cost me $30 some a bottle, right? So for a
Get
liter.
a photo with you.
You bet. Oh, we have some ringers coming up to the. Look at you
And we
avoiding the camera.
downstairs.
You're like an.
That crumble
Perfect.
feta you had. Just what's there, we can divvy that up into little.
Come on in. All right, Bridget, get your butt up here.
Maybe we'll get one afterwards.
Thank you very much.
This is our first one. Thank you.
Can you reach it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I like the little acidic punch at the end of the barrel. Yeah.
Okay. Chris?
So you guys know Becky's job is to make us win. Her entire job is to make us look good. So don't screw up her job because, yeah.
It was Angelique?
Angelica.
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 Just like in Hamilton.
That's
No,
true.
that was-
And who has the Broadway record now for the most words in a single song.
Wow.
Wordy without being trite. Here we are.
You have to what?
Oh, I said wordy without being trite. The song.
Wordy without being trite. Exactly.
yeah.
100%.
Is it possible that the third mezcal made my face go numb? Because
Yes.
it did.
Hey, Cam, can you fix their mic? I'm not getting any sound out of it. Now you saw them reach over and jump. Listen to this and listen to this. Very different, right? So don't
Don't be shy.
Checking.
there you go.
There
Much
you go.
better.
Hello, hello.
Okay, Bridget, it's time for Food for Thought Tasty Trivia, our weekly challenge of the lame and limited is how I look at myself, the lame and limited. This week's segment is brought to you by Rub with Love and is available around the country in stores like Heinen's in Ohio and Illinois, United Supermarkets in Texas, New Seasons in Portland, Jensen's Fine Foods in the Coachella Valley, plus many, many more. If you'd like it shipped to your front door, please visit Tom Douglas & Co. And have a good time. We'll send it right off to you.
It's perfect. I love the veggie rub.
I love that you love it. Becky, tell us how we play the game and who our guests are at the guest mic.
Well, we've got lovely audience members, Chris and Angelica, and they're here to play and they listen. So it's kind of going to be fun for them, I think.
It looks serious. Is
They-
that going to be
Well,
a
they
is
just,
that gonna be a
they're
problem?
just finished
No,
the
they had
tasting.
mezcal,
Oh,
so they're
just
relaxed.
I think
Okay, good.
They liquored us up and then put us up here.
Exactly. And so each of you will get 5 questions, and the winner will get to take a stroll through the gift shop and get a 3-pack.
I guess we know who the winner's going to be.
Exactly.
Lovely.
But it's a lot of fun. All right. We're going to start with Bridget so you know how it goes. Okay, Bridget.
All right.
These are from our lovely friend Jim Maurer.
Oh,
I know you love his
no.
questions.
Holy
so
smokes. Okay.
Thank you, Jim. What spice was banned in the U.S. between 1968 and 2005 to protect the citrus industry? Need a hint?
I need a hint.
It is named after a province in southern China.
You need more than a hint. It's Sichuan peppercorns.
Well, that's what I thought, but
Well, you didn't say it.
Didn't say it, but this is kind of interesting. This mouth
she said
numbing.
southern or northern?
Oh, my Lord.
Okay.
Okay,
Next.
this mouth numbing spice is not a pepper. It's a member of the citrus family. Szechuan peppercorns were reintroduced when the treatment for the bacteria disease known as citrus canker was approved. Thought that was fascinating.
I did not know that.
Well,
Okay.
you won't forget that now.
No.
All right, number 2. Who said the only time to eat diet food is while you're waiting for a steak to cook? Was that Mario Batali, Julia Child, or Emerald Lagasse?
I'm going to say Julia.
It was Julia. Good job. Number 3.
Everything in moderation, including moderation.
I thought it was except moderation.
No, including moderation.
You've got that on your
I
back
do.
in the. I'll have to. What is the meaning of the term banchan?
Banchan?
Mm-hmm.
That's in Korean food, and it's all those little dishes you get on the tray when you sit
Yes.
down.
You got it. In 2 weeks, we have Sarah on a conversation with her talking about banchan from her new book, Oma.
It's
So-
very fun when you get those.
And actually, nope, that's kimchi. Okay, number 4. Which nut is traditionally used to make a pesto alla trapanese, a Sicilian twist on
Almond.
pesto? Oh, yes.
Ooh, I
I've
would-
been to Trapani.
I would not have guessed that.
I think Jim knew
And
that
it's
too. I think he's
amazing.
being very nice. Yes.
Oh, maybe not.
Final question. What is the term for people who are obsessed with eating food one considers healthy, often to an unhealthy extent? Is it sebophobia or chionophobia?
The second one.
It's actually sebophobia.
Oh, you had a 50-50 chance and you still didn't get it.
That one is fear of
50-50.
snow. So you got 3, but good job. All right.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Chris and
Becky?
Angelica.
Thanks, Jim.
There you go.
2 for 1.
What liquor was banned in the US and much of Europe for over 100 years?
Oh.
I've got a hint. Oh, but you don't need it.
Absinthe.
You got it. Good,
Good
job. We had all
job.
kinds of hints here.
It was considered a hallucinogen, right?
Yes, due to wormwood.
Yep. The thujone from wormwood causes.
Hey,
They're
quit showing off
snowing.
here.
They're snowing us,
Quit showing
Tom.
off here.
They're
Okay.
snowing us.
Good job. Number 2. Who said, as you get older, you shouldn't waste time drinking bad wine? Was that Julia Child, Graham Kerr, or Jacques Pepin?
I think it was my grandfather, but also
That's cute.
we couldn't have 2 Julias. I don't think it's possible. It wouldn't be right for her to do 2 Julias. We'll say the third.
It's actually Julia Child.
It is Julia.
It's
Yeah, I think. I don't know.
Good job, though. I like your
I just want to
thinking.
remind you, it's only a 2-hour show.
Got to speed it up. Okay, so sorry.
Number 3. What is the meaning of the term omakase?
You have the sushi chef take care of everything.
Oh, you're awesome. I leave it up to you.
Uh-oh, Tom.
Number 4. What is forbidden rice? It's a special color.
I believe forbidden rice is the Chinese black rice.
You got it. Also known as purple rice. In ancient China, only the powerful and wealthy were allowed to eat it. Okay, final question. What is the term for the fear of eggs? Yolkophobia or ovophobia?
Ovophobia.
You got it. That's 4 out of 5. Well done. Mezcal served you right.
Yokophobia. That's the fear of dad jokes. Yokophobia.
That's cute. You get another one. I changed it.
I think Becky has yokophobia.
Beatles did too.
Yeah. Okay. Tom, how was the mezcal tasting for you?
Fantastic. I feel terrific.
Okay.
And I like the baril the best.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how it helps with your quiz. Number 1 from Jim Maurer. Ackee is a highly regulated and importation of the raw fruit is banned in the U.S. Of which country is ackee the national fruit? Hint, it's not in the U.S.
Indonesia.
Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Jamaica. It contains a
Oh, right.
substance that prevents the body's release of glucose, which can plunge one's blood sugar to dangerously low levels. I think that's only in unripe ones, but I'm not sure. Okay, number 2. Who said, my weaknesses have always been food and men in that order? Mae West, Dolly Parton, or James Beard?
Ooh, could be any of the 3. I'm going to say Mae West.
It's gotta be
Dolly Parton.
Dolly
yeah.
Parton.
Really?
Amy would-
She's so teeny.
Yeah. Okay, she's got many cookbooks out.
Yeah.
Number 3.
I'll just say we had the Dolly Parton cheesecake that Loretta brought home, I think, or Jackie brought home.
Uh-huh.
You should pass.
Okay, passed on the... Is it in the grocery stores?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she makes it and
No,
markets
somebody
it?
makes it for her. But
She puts her name on
yeah.
it.
Oh.
What is the meaning of the term izakaya?
Izakaya.
Mhm.
It's the little snack boxes that you get in the railroad stations of Japan.
That's so good. But it's similar to a tapas bar. Iru means stay and sakaya means sake shop. It's all those little bars that serve food.
Yeah, exactly what I said.
Exactly not.
Is that
Izakaya is a...
no, but the answer, is that a plus half or
Look
does
at-
Tom get that one?
No. That's I was wrong.
Yep, it was wrong.
Okay.
Yep.
But I would have sworn it was the little boxes like almost like bento boxes that you can
I wonder if
buy
it could
as
be
you
as
travel
well.
around.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be as well.
in
But
the train station or whatever.
yeah, number 4. What is nargesi? Is it a Japanese seaweed snack, an Iranian egg dish, or a Piedmont wine grape?
What is it?
Nargesi. What is it?
Nargesi?
I'm going to say a Piedmont wine grape.
It's an Iranian egg dish.
Yeah, of course it is.
Of course, it's
They make wine out of it though.
okay.
Gross.
You got to get this one. I might even help you. The term for a person afraid of cottage cheese is
Me.
No, you're not afraid. You just don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Allodoxophobia or Turophobia.
Turophobia.
Yes,
Good.
1 out of 5 times.
You didn't.
I only got it because you
skunked.
looked at me.
You didn't get skunked.
No, but our guests, Angelica and Chris, have fun in the gift shop.
Thank you.
Picking
Good
out
job.
rubs on me since we were so lame today. I have to approve our guests from now on. These two are too
They're too
smart.
smart.
They were
Yeah.
snowing us.
Exactly. If you want to be part of the show, you can join the community on YouTube at YouTube Live at Tom Douglas and Co. or buy a ticket to join us right here in the studio and get some breakfast and some mezcal and some bagels and everything else that we had
Cream
today,
cheese.
whatever it is on your day. The show is produced by Becky Guzak. Our technical wizard today is Cameron Thomas, and our editor at Cairo is Sean. Please don't call me Del Torre. And if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show on Cairo, you can listen via your favorite podcast app. Just subscribe, which is what you should do for our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Costs nothing. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening and come join us.
Happy Tax Day.
Nah, they got 11 days. Yeah,
11 days.
11 days.
This is for a week from. Oh,
This is for April 4th.
Right. So, Sean DeTore, don't put it in Happy Tax Day. We'll save that for tomorrow. Quiet on the set, please. Sean, stop making all that noise. Hi, I'm Chef Tom Douglas.
And I'm Chef Bridget Charters.
Today on the Hot Stove Society radio show, Andrew Rubenstein from Hey Bagel at the U Village joins us. You can cut the line. Just listen in right here at the Hot Stove. Season 2 of The Nosh with Rachel Bell just launched, and she's here to share some behind-the-scenes stories. And we learn about Solo Esto Mezcal from Andre Bope and Keith Johnson.
Good job.
Nice job.
Yes, you riffed on some good stuff too. That was good. Sean will have to cut some out, but that's okay.
Perfect.
Our time was
It's a wrap.
15 seconds. Yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
All right.
It's a wrap. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Make you
Thank
a
you.
special award because you never win any awards.
I know, exactly.